Hi guys, my name is Michelle, this is Marchetti Tarot, and we are doing the September 2020 reading for Cancer. So let's dive right in. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much. It's so nice to have you here. And if you're new to the channel, I hope you enjoy the reading. So let's see what's going on for Cancer. So we've got Judgment that's come out. Okay, so right off the bat, what I'm getting is that there seems to be a cycle that you're in at the moment that you've experienced before. It's like with the Judgment card, there's sort of a circling back to maybe a lesson you thought you learned in the past, but maybe you haven't. There's something that you're not quite getting. And I say that because we've got going with the flow in reverse. So like when you've learned a lesson in life, then you keep moving downstream, so to speak. But when you haven't, you sort of go round and round in the same wee pool of water. And that's sort of the energy that I'm getting, because we've also got the Hanged Man in reverse. So I think that there's like a new perspective on this kind of situation that you're needing to have. And then we've got the Five of Wands here, which in this particular deck is called Totality. And if you see on the card, it's like they're doing some sort of weird trapeze act, and like the two ends aren't quite meeting up. There's a gap between the fingers there. It's like they're meant to be sort of catching each other and they haven't quite got there. So it's almost like this energy of like sort of a snapping point or a choice point or a decision point. Like, are you going to learn the lesson this time? Are you going to go round and repeat this cycle once more? Or are you going to clear this out so that you can move downstream to a new cycle? So let's try and see if we can see what this is about. What is this all about for Cancer? What is this all about? I think I'm going to get another layer of cards for a second before I read into this any further. Tell me more, Spirit, tell me more. Okay. I feel like this is about a marriage or a committed relationship for most of you. If it's not, then it could be about a relationship that you have with a family member, particularly a matriarch like a mum or grandmother or auntie or something like that. So we've got the energy here of Ten of Swords, which is sort of like, it's that sense of like someone's stabbed you in the back, but it normally, when it comes out upright, it sort of indicates that the worst is now behind you, but it's in reverse, which means that there may be someone in your immediate environment that's quite cruel with their words. Their words might be very cutting, very, they might put you down a lot with their words. They might try and sort of cut you down. They might be jealous of your success in some area. Because we've got the Knight of Swords in reverse, which is a very, it's a very blunt form of communication. And when it's in reverse, it shows up in a more shadowy way. Like in the upright, it can just be someone that's speaking the truth, but maybe it's just not delivered with the best amount of tact. But there's not necessarily any malice or any ill intent behind it. But with it being in reverse, like this is someone that's very clever with their words, but in a kind of mean way is kind of the energy that I get with that. And then we've got the Hierophant and the Lovers. So this is what makes me think that for most of you, this is potentially someone that you're married with, or someone that you live with. Most likely someone that you're married to, though. Or like in a long-term partnership that sort of has an equivalent level of commitment to marriage. So that could be you've been with this person for 10 years, or, you know, just fit it to your own situation. But there's something that isn't flowing right within this dynamic. It isn't, like the emotions aren't, it's not balanced. Let's just put it that way. And either you or this other person, you're very defensive. Certainly if you've got this kind of energy coming at you, I can completely understand why you're defensive. It could be that this person's interacting with you because of this, because they're feeling defensive. I feel like it's more you, though. I feel like you're just defensive because you've been dealing, I think, with this kind of energy for a while. And I almost feel like you've been wanting to break free of it. We've got the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and then we've got the World. I feel like it's this energy of you've been kind of like wanting to break free of it, but you haven't. You might have kids with this person, just with the Empress in reverse being out here, and maybe that's a reason why, you know, you're sort of trying to persevere through this. But I do think with the World upright and the Five of Wands, I have a feeling, we're going to read more into this, but I have a feeling that there may be something more that happens between you and this person this month that's almost like a snapping point that makes you be like, you know what, maybe I haven't had the courage to speak up about this, or to be really honest with myself and to really see this situation clearly for what it is. But it's almost like something might happen this month where by you sort of can't ignore this any longer, and you're not going to live in denial about this any longer. And it's sort of like you're going to be forced to come out of this Two of Pentacles energy of sort of just trying to juggle it, trying to make it work, trying to it's a bit of an indecisive energy. This is the Two of Pentacles, but it's a little bit like the Two of Swords for me here in this reading as well. It's almost like you might have... This person could have two sides to them. They could have one side that's very loving, very nurturing, and then they could have another part of them that's very hostile. Or aggressive, or just mean, and that may come out in certain situations, but not always. And it's almost like, because maybe they are very kind or very nurturing, or some of the time, it's almost like you may have put up with the other stuff for too long, and you may have had a bit of this back and forth energy inside your own mind of like, well, am I just kind of making this out to be worse than it really is? Maybe it's not that bad. All relationships go through bad patches, and they're not like this all the time. Sometimes they're really nice. So you may have just been going through this sort of justification process with yourself. You could also potentially, with the Knight of Swords in reverse, you might not be, but you may be dealing with somebody that, because of the way that I think this person has verbally put you down, it's almost like that may have contributed to you second guessing your own judgment of a situation. So if in the past you just would have seen this really clearly for what it was, perhaps because you've been subjected to this sort of like intellectual put downs for so long, it's almost like now you're like, well, maybe they are right. Like, maybe I am too sensitive, or maybe I'm, maybe it's not really that bad. So I almost feel like this person, for some of you, may have contributed to the fact that you've allowed this to go on for too long by sort of planting seeds of doubt in your own mind about whether you're perceiving this situation accurately or not. So let's take that how it resonates. I'm going to pull some surrender cards for you. These are really good cards for when you're dealing with difficult situations, or just things that you're having a hard time sort of breaking or stepping out of or seeing clearly. So let's just see what the advice is here for you this month. What's the advice for Cancers that are dealing with this situation? Okay, this is exactly what I've been talking about. So we've got surrender, unhealthy relationships. So this really is this judgment cycle that's here for you guys now. This is this choice point that's arising for you this month, or sometime soon. You're probably already sort of in this energy as we speak. But so the lesson here is to learn to let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. So that's this card here. And I really want to highlight the last sentence there. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people, because the other two cards that have come out are surrendered outdated beliefs about yourself and surrender your belief in scarcity. So I really get that this person is a lesson for you, and that they are sort of, unfortunately, as you go on in your spiritual and emotional healing journeys, you get to a point where you realize that even unhelpful people or unkind people that are showing up in your experience, they're really just mirroring back to you something that you sort of like believe on some level about yourself, or believe on some level about the universe. Like, when people really, like, they've grown up in households where they've been taught from day dot, like, you can have anything you want to have, like, there's nothing stopping you, and, you know, and they've been surrounded by an atmosphere of love and seeing healthy boundaries in action, they don't tend to have these kind of relationships, unless, of course, something happens later in life that, you know, makes them develop more negative beliefs. But my point is, when you're in sort of dynamics with people that are putting you down and that are inconsistent with you, that are unavailable, that are, you know, where there's some level of unhealthiness or toxicity, it's generally because on some level, like, you don't believe that you can have something better. So that's this scarcity card, and it's saying surrender your belief in scarcity. Like, understand that you can have what it is that you want, and surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. So let go of any kind of limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, about you not deserving better, or you not being able to have better. So this one says, let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. And that's really what's going to come up for you in September. I do think that there's going to be a choice point, or a intensification of the energies with this person. Like I say, I do feel like this is a relationship that you've had for quite some time. I do think it's some sort of romantic relationship, but if it's not, it could be like I say, a relationship with a family member, particularly some sort of matriarchal figure. But whoever this person is for you, I do think it's someone you know. I think it's someone you've had a long-standing connection with. And I think you are going to experience an intensification of some of this sort of, just unkind words, really kind of harsh, blunt communication, put downs, that kind of thing. I do think that's going to intensify this month, but it's going to intensify for your benefit, because the universe is really trying to help you shake free of this. It's really trying to help you set some boundaries, realize what you deserve. And here's the thing about boundaries. A lot of people, I think, really misinterpret how this works. A lot of people think, right, boundaries means I need to give this person a big lecture about what's acceptable and what's not. The thing is, when you have an internal awareness about what's acceptable to you and what's not, you don't really need to communicate a lot to the outside world, because as soon as, you know, a situation presents itself where someone is showing up in a way that's different to what you want, when you know what your boundaries are and you hold them very solidly within yourself, it's as simple as saying, no, thank you, and walking away. It doesn't require this, this extensive explanation and this back and forth with somebody else about it. It's like you own the boundary, you enforce the boundary, and generally that just means you don't engage, you remove this person or you remove yourself. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But yeah, the universe is really wanting to bring this to your attention so that you really see this clearly in a way that you perhaps haven't before, in a way to help you see clearly, firstly, the unhealthy part of this connection, the fact that, like there might be some good in this connection, but are you being really honest with yourself about whether the little bit of good in this connection is really worth all this other stuff that goes with it? I think the universe is really trying to draw your attention to you can do so much better than this. And I think it's also trying to draw your attention to beliefs about yourself and beliefs about what you deserve, most importantly, so that you can heal that within yourself. Because even if you sort of addressed this relationship with this person, as long as you hold those beliefs about yourself that this is just how relationships are, or you've got to take the good with the bad, and it's okay for people to talk to me this way, or that's just how people talk. As long as you hold those kind of beliefs, you could potentially clean up this relationship with this person, but chances are somebody else is gonna replace the dynamic with this person and sort of give you a similar energy. Because once you clean up that kind of stuff within yourself, sooner or later the outside world changes and you start to find relationships that just mirror back to you sort of the healthier beliefs that you hold internally about yourself. So if there is an intensification of the energies this month, Cancer, I would not worry in the sense of, don't get me wrong, it may be difficult, but just know that this is really the universe trying to help you. So when it shows up, just be like, I remember. This was all part of the plan. This is all part of helping me really realize some stuff, get really honest with myself about some stuff, and really set an expectation that I can do so much better than this, and that I deserve so much better than this, and I'm going to insist on so much better than this for myself in the future. So really looking forward to hearing how that resonates for you guys. Please feel free to leave me a comment or hit that like button. I really like knowing how much these readings resonate with you. And I send you so much love. This is a difficult lesson. I know I've had to learn this and quite honestly relearn this many times in my own life, so I can relate, and I do send you a lot of love through this process. And I will look forward to catching up with you again soon. Okay, bye, Cancer.